friends. What we're gonna do, or I have partially done it already, but I'm gonna show you in the video how to do it. I've changed the rear spring. So what we're gonna do is how to save money by doing this when you do this, because if you deliver your bike into a workshop, it will take at least 2 hours to take off the shock and everything, rear wheel and all that, and put it back together again. So it would at least cost you 2 hours of mechanics time. If you take it off yourself, and then what I did, because I don't have a hydraulic press, if you do have a hydraulic press, you can do it yourself, even that. I just took it all the way off the bike, and now I can also grease all these connections, which is not greased enough from the factory. And I gave this to the local motorcycle shop, and they changed the spring in like 5 minutes. Didn't cost me actually anything, because they said, this so quickly, we won't charge you for it. So put it back together, and now I'm going to put it back together. Before I'll do that, I will do the settings for the new spring rate, and also in front, the front forks, I'll do that in a later video. Okay, to do this you have to take off the seat, and then these ones on the side to access the little nut inside there. And then you also need to jack up the bike somehow, and then we have the bolts down under here. This one is for the shock, and these ones are for the linkage, and all the nuts are on this side of the bike. So we will start with removing the rear wheel. Okay, I have already loosened the nuts, and you can now take the nuts off. And you have to lift the rear. Take this off. This off. We do this so we can also lubricate this at the same time. Loose. There we go. Now it's all easy to take out. To get the nut out. And it's different from the other ones on the bottom, so beware of that. And lift it a little bit so it's not horrible to break apart. Okay, so after you take out the bolt on top, then you wiggle this one out. You have to lift this up and then wiggle it out, and voila, it's off. The way to do this is you have to compress this spring, and then you can slide this one off, compress the new spring, and slide that back. So there we go. We're gonna do that, but first of all we're gonna take off all the preload on the bike. Okay, so now I have put the shock, rear shock, I put it into the workshop in here locally. I'm using Rovig Auto in Rovig MC in Stavanger, and I will change the spring. So what I did is to take it all off, and then I will grease up everything before I put it back together again, and then when I get the shock back, I'll put it back in again, and I save a lot of money, because if I drive the bike in and they will do everything for me, it's at least 2 hours work to take it off and then put it back on again. So you save a lot of money to do this job yourself, and it's not really hard. It doesn't need a lot of special tools and everything. You need something to do the torque with it, and that's pretty much it. You need a 14 and a 17 socket and a 17 wrench, and that's it really to do the job, and also obviously the torque wrench. I'll show you how to grease everything up. And there's I've seen before on YouTube some people say one torque for all the bolts, which is wrong. There's two different ones. If you look in the manual, the workshop manual for Yamaha, there's different. You have 48 and 45 Newton meters. Okay, so I will start with the rebound setting, which is the bottom one. Why I set it like this is it's just a base setting, which is recommended for this weight. You know, the spring here is made for a rider about 90 kilo, which is unfortunately I am this heavy. Anyway, so when you upgrade the spring rate, you should also do something with the settings and not have the factory settings. So how to do this is to take it all the way in first. Now we will take it back out, and it's minus, go left, 9 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then we're going to do the compression setting, which is on top when this is installed. This is so much easier, you know. And we go all the way in again. There. Then we go out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a great base setting if you have the correct weight spring for your weight. Your weight is like 90 kilo. Then it's a good base setting. I would start from there. Okay, so where you see here is the bushings. So you pull them out. This is to grease it. And as you can see inside there's not much grease. And you can see here, it's certainly not much grease. And then we will take this one too out. And then the top one, which is here, a little bit crappier to get to, you should think, but it's not. That's this one. And we can feel this. There's no lube, almost. There's almost no lube, you see? This is one of the big things Yamaha has been skimping on. I don't know if grease is that expensive. Okay, so the grease I use is Maxima waterproof grease, and it's lithium based. Lithium based grease is what I recommend from Yamaha here. It's just that they don't want to use it themselves. I don't know. It's not that expensive, but don't skimp on grease, guys. It's one of the best things to protect your bike. A lot of people are saving money on oil and grease, and I'm thinking, what? Why do you want to save money on this? You know, because this is basically what keeps your bike well maintained. And if you want to maintain your bike and keep it nice and running well, you should not skimp on maintenance. And maintenance is oil and grease. So don't buy cheap oil, don't buy cheap grease. Buy quality stuff, you know. Okay. Just so you guys know it, it's easier to take the bolt in from the other side. You see it better there. And then we're going to put it in the nut from this side, which is the correct side. All the nuts is from this side. So, and you always tighten on the nut, not the bolt. Okay, now we're going to put this on the bottom. It's pretty easy to fit this now. One should think. true to my words, it is. This is the 14 millimeter, by the way. Everything else is 17. Even the bolt on the back side is 17. So only this one nut. And right now we're going to put this assembly in with a link. I'll do that on the other side as well, which is easier. So here's the bottom, there's the top. Lift up the go. Careful through. Okay. It's true. There. Okay. Bearing is in. Everything is in. Yeah. The torque values are here. So as you can see, the link is 48 Newton, and then the shock, lower shock, and the arrow goes here also to the top of the shock, is 45. 45 on the shock. Okay. Torque it. Yeah. There. Yeah. Keep it from spinning. Back side. It stops spinning after it tightens. So there we are. Okay, and here it's 105 newtons. There we are. Okay, friends. So we're going to set the sag on this the bike, and I'll show you a very simple way to do it, and a very nice tool to do it. So you can repeat it over and over and over and over again without any problems. Put a bolt with a string. Put the string inside here. Pull on it, and then find a spot on the bike. Like here I have an angle. So you put the spot there, and then you mark it like this. There we are. This is unloaded. The bike is not loaded on the ground. So now we know exactly the distance there. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure from that spot. Is the sag when you are sitting on the bike, it should be like 60 millimeter, which is there. Exactly there. Put a knot there, and now you know exactly where your sag is supposed to be when you sit on the bike. And this is pretty simple to do when you sit on the bike. Okay. Put a knot again. Now you have where it's supposed to be on the static sag on this motorcycle. It's almost there, so I would say it's pretty much there. So when we put on the tools inside here and the rear seat, or I mean the seat and everything, then it's probably will be there. But we will measure it again But this looks really, really, really good for it. And it's absolutely no preload after I changed the spring on it now.